What is the fastest way to increase the revenue generated by each plumber? Right now, it seems each one generates around $200,000 a year. I always caution everybody when they're talking about revenue per truck to understand the operations of the business that they're talking about. So I'm going to give an example. I can say that our service plumbers do $1 million of revenue. And I can also say that in plumbing, our trucks do about $500,000 each of revenue production. And both of those things would be true, which obviously those are contrasting numbers. When you're measuring output, the things that matter are you selling and performing the work, or are you just selling or just performing the work? If your average ticket is $300, then you'll probably generate $200,000 a year per truck. If your average ticket is $2,000, you'll probably average $1 million. The fastest way would be increasing average ticket. And the way to increase average ticket is number of options, quality of those options, and a lot of service and sales training. Maybe a month ago, I was talking with someone, Sean Horn. He's in the Facebook group, and his average ticket was a little bit lower than he wanted. And they just started focusing on options. So like, hey, what are your options? Your guys are cleaning drains. What are you offering when you're cleaning those drains? Is there a camera? Is there an upsell? Are you talking about, big replacements? But in order to get a high average ticket, you have to be quoting expensive things. So that would be the fastest way. But I also want to make sure, we're talking about the same things. So as the options and quoting big things is the biggest way to increase revenue generated. Next question is, what are the top KPIs I need to track daily for technicians and installers in HVAC? Obviously two different roles, but we'll dive into them. We'll dive into each of them. So for technicians, the things that we're going to care about there, similar to the answer to the first one. So what's our average ticket? What's our number of options? So we want 3 options on everything. We want, I think it's $500 average ticket. We measure it in sold hours, and close rate. So those are the big things that we measure in any service department, really. For install, what we're measuring is on time. So did you get the job done in the time that we expected it to get done, the time that we sold it for, and rate of callback. We also measure just gross dollars produced. And I think that this gross dollars produced is a missed one. And I think this happens later. As the business grows, like the fundamental parts of your business, you get better and better and better at it, which means the results of those departments are more predictable. Hey, I know that marketing is going to drive 500 calls a day or 100 calls a day, or whatever your reality is. And I know that our book rate on average is 80% or 90% or whatever that's going to be. A lot of people, when they think about measuring install, they don't think about measuring revenue, because in their mind, that's a sales problem. Like, oh, we would install more if we sold more, which is correct. But as you get better at service and sales, you will sell more. Like that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the results of your service and sales are going to be fairly predictable. Like, you're going to sell $100,000 a day or $10,000 a day, or like, again, whatever your reality is. So installed revenue and amount completed is important because it shows a level of productivity out of that team. So that's one I see missed a lot, because people give an excuse for it because they haven't dialed in their sales process yet.